Hi, I'm Randy.
I'm Danny.
And we are at the Visual Arts Department at Thomas Nelson, and we're going to show you some of the video equipment that you have available to make your videos. First, we're going to start out with this video tripod, and it's a little heavier than a regular tripod, but it will come in what's called zero position. All the knobs will be set to zero. And you start out, just release these handles. First of all, before we do that, Dan, you want to explain about the feet?
Yeah. When you remove the tripod out of the bag, the first thing that you want to check is to make sure that the spikes on the tripod are recessed. And the reason why you want to do that is that you just want to make sure that you're not scratching anyone's floor or wood floor or anything like that. So turn it to the left to expose the spikes and lock it to the right to recess the spikes in. And just make sure that those are recessed, especially if you're, putting it out on a wood floor.
Okay, so release these knobs. All the way down. You shouldn't have to adjust the bottom knobs. And then set it down, tighten these.
Remember the rule, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. After setting your tripod up and making sure that it's stable, the next thing that you probably want to do is adjust the tripod head handle. And that is located right here. You just loosen the knob, adjust it to your desired position, and then lock it down, and you should be good.
And then there's knobs that you can adjust here. What are these for, Danny?
Yeah, the other knobs that you probably care about is if you turn the tripod, let me turn it over here, let me show you, it's the panning knob, and that's located right around the neck area of the tripod head. So if you pull it out, push it in, it loosens it, and what that enables you to do is pan your shots once you have your camera on there, left to right. Pulling it out will lock it in, so if you just want it to stay rock solid, you pull it out and it won't go anywhere. The other knob is your tilt control knob, and that's located right here on the side. So what you do, and I recommend you hold a handle when you're doing this, because if you have your camera on here and you're trying to do it one-handed, what's going to happen is the camera's going to flip over because of the weight. So you want to hold it both with the handle as you're adjusting your knob, and basically same thing, left to loosen it, and what it does is it'll loosen it. So if you're doing a shot, you want to kind of do a bottom to top kind of shot, loosening that knob will enable you to kind of maneuver it that way. Or if you just want it rock solid again, you just kind of take that knob, turn it to the right, and it locks it down.
So that'll give you some nice smooth shots for your video. And the next part that we're going to go over is the kind of tricky part, is getting your camera on the plate and getting it secure on the tripod. Okay, so let's get the plate on the camera. Now remember, this is important, that you have the arrow on the plate here headed towards the camera lens. And screw that on with your finger, and then you can tighten it, screwdriver.
Or a regular flat coin will work as well. And make sure you get that in there good and snug, because what you don't want to have happen is your camera kind of wiggling on your tripod head.
So you see this arrow on the plate, and there's also an arrow down here. And then just slide it in and tighten it up. Okay, we're going to talk about a couple of recording devices that we have available here. Now, of course, you always have your recorder in the camera, which is most of the time not very good audio quality. And a lot of times people have pretty low tolerance for poor audio quality in videos. So what you want to do is, for an interview, we have the Tascam recorders, which have a lavalier mic, and they require the adapter. So we have this equipment for doing your interviews. In addition, we have a directional microphone that you can also use. And Danny, you want to tell us when you would use this and why this is different?
Yes, the directional mics, and we have two varieties of them. One is the Rode mic, Rode Video Mic Pro. We actually have two of these. And it attaches to the camera. The one thing that you'll notice on these directional cameras is that there's actually three parts to it. There's the actual mic, which is this thing right here. There's this foam cover, which helps reduce some of the echo that you might hear and some of the ambient noise. And then on these directional microphones, they also have a isolator. So that prevents you from hearing any noise coming from the camera itself. Especially if you're doing like in a scenario where you might actually use your camera to record video and you hit the shutter button and you wanted to get a still. You don't want to hear that that sound, the sound of the shutter in your onboard mic. And so what this does is it just helps isolate some of those ambient sounds. Now the directional microphones come with the microphone, the foam muffler, the stabilizer, and they usually come with a cable. And the Rode mics come with this little red cable, so look for that when you're unpacking. The other directional mic is this Audio Technica mic, which is a longer mic. It can get audio from a lot farther distance than the Rode mics will, and this is a little bit more expensive, and it's built a little bit more sturdy, so you do tend to get better quality with this mic, one of these. So, and it comes again with a stabilizer. It comes with the muffler that pulls off the microphone, and this is the actual microphone itself.
And we would use these in a situation where you didn't have time to mic somebody up, or a situation where you wouldn't put a mic on, like Danny was saying, maybe a wedding or something, you wouldn't mic some people up then. And also remember when you're, we have lavalier mics on right now, and always remember to thread your mics up underneath your
clothing,
client's clothing.
So it doesn't show too much.
So.
It's an art form.
Right.
In general, if you're doing interviews, you want to use the external recorder with the lav mic because you just get so much better quality, especially when you're interviewing someone.
And you can sync that audio from the recorder up with your video in Premiere Pro, and you'll learn how to do that.
It's real easy to do.